Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, what's going on, fellow captains? It's Muse. So we have something super serious to talk about today. So something happened the other day, and I need to take accountability for it. I shared something that caused a very negative reaction for a few people. So we're gonna kind of address that, and I'm going to apologize for that. So right now I'm going to show you, this was the thumbnail that caused the initial controversy. Me in a bathing suit that is perfectly acceptable for me to be out in public in and breaks no terms of service of any of the platforms I operate on, but people were upset with it. It really bothered some people, a few. I followed up with this thumbnail, which is another, thumbnail of me in a bathing suit that is perfectly acceptable to be in public and does not violate any of the terms of service of any of the platforms I operate on. And they were also triggered by this one. So yeah, we're talking about World of Warships, and World of Warships is obviously a very innocent game. There is no sexualized content anywhere within World of Warships. My audience is primarily adult males over the age of 30 who, adult males over the age of 30 have probably never seen female skin or a breast or a thigh before. So, I'm exposing a audience that, has never seen those sort of things to something they've never seen. Boobs are something that 30-year-old men have never seen. Yes, it's completely my fault. I accept responsibility for that. I have single-handedly sexualized the entire game. There's nothing in the game like, anything near what I posted in my thumbnails. And again, even though that my thumbnails, I'm wearing clothing that is appropriate to be in public in, and it does not violate any of the terms of service on any platform I operate on, people were offended and I got canceled. And there is absolutely nothing else in World of Warships like what I had in those thumbnails, and I have to apologize for my behavior. I was completely out of line. It's not something that I should do. There's no interest in something like titty commanders in the game. I don't want to upset the 40-year-old virgins out there that have never seen a breast or never seen a thigh or never seen a woman in a bathing suit before, that are completely, culture shocked by such things. That wasn't my intention. My intention was to post content on my channel that I enjoy and I like, and I thought my audience would appreciate. It's kind of the entire purpose to having your own channel. And it's really wrong of me to think that I should post content that I want to post on my channel, and I should post content that 40-year-old virgins that have never touched a breast before want posted on my channel. That's what should happen, because again, World of Warships is this absolutely pure and innocent, non-sexualized game. There's nothing in the game, there's no breasts, there's no thighs, there's no scantily clad women, there's no anything like that in the game. And for me to expose an audience to that and single-handedly again sexualize a game, that was pretty much exactly the feedback I got on the people that, you know, wanted to cancel me was that I was the one who sexualized this game. You know, there was nothing sexual in it before me, and I take that to heart. I truly do. I'm, you know, I'm deeply saddened by it, and I'm hurt. And I understand what I've done and the damage I've caused to, you know, innocent 40-year-old virgins that have never seen a breast before, never seen a thigh before, never gone to the beach and seen a woman in a bathing suit. The irreparable damage that I've done to these poor 40-year-old men who have never ever seen a breast. Imagine, they probably need therapy for seeing a breast. It's horrible. It's horrible. There's nothing like it in the game. Again, I was completely out of line. I didn't think about my actions. I didn't think about the consequences of, you know, the content I wanted to post on my channel. And, you know, maybe I should be listening to, you know, the small handful of people that want to cancel me instead of, you know, the mass audience that enjoys the content that I put out, you know, because, yeah, you know, I'd rather cater to the handful of people that are super offended at seeing a woman in a bathing suit than the large core audience that loves the content that I create, that loves the advice that I give, that loves that I teach ships, you know? You know, I guess I've really damaged my reputation with those 2 thumbnails, and I should probably never ever do anything like that again. Again, I'm deeply sorry for the trauma I've caused. Was never my intention to scar 40-year-old men for the rest of their life with a breast. Never my intention. And then there's the damage that I've done to my channel, you know, all those sponsorships I have, like, you know, if I get canceled, I'm gonna lose all those, because you can see my content is just heavily sponsored. And, you know, I really have to worry about what the sponsors say about, you know, the content. And so, you know, getting canceled is a pretty big deal. And I don't want to be canceled. I can't afford to be canceled. I can't afford to lose all my sponsors that I have on my channel, you know? So, again, I'm deeply sorry for the trauma and for exposing people to breasts, because there just is none in the game. There's none. Not a single breast or thigh or anything in the game that is even remotely sexual. And so, yeah, it's very traumatizing for these couple guys, you know, to have to see a woman in a bathing suit. I mean, you know, if you're a 40-year-old virgin, that's got to be a rough thing to be exposed to, you know, the fact that women have breasts and thighs. It's rough. I can understand, and I empathize, and I feel like I should do better going forward, and I should really cater to, you know, the 5 or 10 people that are upset that they saw me in a bathing suit, that are going to boycott my channel. You know, that they were never going to watch anyway to begin with, but, you know, now they're going to boycott it. So I should really cater to those guys and, you know, make sure that my content is, you know, wholesome and upstanding and fit for their judgment. Like, what was I thinking to, you know, create content that I enjoy on my channel that's not in violation of any terms of service on any platform I operate on? I mean, I must have been out of my mind. I must have simply been flat out of my mind. And so, yeah, like, how do I undo that damage? And I think going forward, the only way to undo that damage is just to do better, and not show breasts and not show thighs in a game that just has absolutely no breasts or thighs anywhere in it. I mean, that makes sense, right? Right, audience? You know, I don't know what else to do. I don't want to be canceled. You know, I'm so terrified of being canceled. You know, cancel culture is going to come get me. I don't know what to do at this point, and I have to do better going forward, and I have to make sure there's no breasts or thighs or, you know, bathing suits or anything that is perfectly legal in public and doesn't violate terms of service on my channel, because people who don't run a channel don't like my thumbnails, and that's, you know, we have to factor that in and take that into account, because, you know, they don't run a channel, so they must know, you know, how to create content. I mean, it's that simple. You know, there's some of them that said, you know, because I showed a breast, it undoes all my content. I don't necessarily think my audience agrees with that, especially since on those videos with those thumbnails, we're still discussing the ships and everything that occurred within the video itself. But, you know, 5 or 10 people had an issue with it, and they think that that detracts from what I have to offer as a content creator for World of Warships, and what I have to offer as far as gameplay and builds and all that sort of thing. And, you know, we need to do better. We need to do better. You know, we can't have bathing suits or breasts, because it's just not something that 30-year-old men appreciate. You know, what 30-year-old man wants to see a breast or a thigh or a hot girl in a bathing suit? I was crazy to think that might be something that, you know, people might enjoy. I was out of my mind. So again, you have to forgive me. I very deeply apologize. Going forward, I'm going to do so much better. I'm going to make sure these sorts of things don't happen on my channel. You know, even though they don't violate terms of service anywhere, even though it's perfectly acceptable for me to go out in public like that, I will make sure those things don't happen on my channel, you know, because 5 or 10 guys had an issue with it. Alright, but in all seriousness, it's my channel. I'm the content creator. I get to decide what content I want to put on the channel or I don't want to put on the channel. If somebody doesn't like that, they're more than free to go create their own channel and create their own content. People are more than free to block me. People are more than free to not watch my content. So there's options there, isn't there? And I think if I want to include a thumbnail of myself in an outfit that is perfectly acceptable to be in public in and does not violate any of the terms of service of the platforms I operate on, I think that's well within my right as a content creator on my channel. Wouldn't you agree? And as far as sexualizing World of Warships, I think you might have seen from this video there might be some sexual content already in the game, and I think you might have already been exposed to a breast, a thigh, and a half-naked girl. That's all I have for you, captains. I'll catch you later. Good hunting, fair seas. Take care. Bye.